Hi, this is Di, bass playing mom, and today I'm going to talk about my Mackie MP-240 in-ear monitors 2 years later. What do I think now? I thought I would make a follow-up video and let you know what I think about my monitors after using them for 2 years. First, let me talk about why you need in-ear monitors. You need in-ear monitors so you can hear. If you're used to wearing headphones or you're used to wearing earbuds, these are not those. These are in-ear monitors, and so they actually have drivers that make them go. They go in your ear like an earbud, but they seal because they have pads on them. There's a couple, 2 or 3 different kinds of foamies that go on the end, and they actually go into your ear, and then the cord loops around the outside of your ear. So it goes in like this, like that, and then one goes on the other side. And in the Mackie MP-240s, they're actually labeled L and R. On Shure's, there is a red one, which is your right ear. So they pop into your ear like that, and you wait for them to seal, just like you would when you're wearing earplugs at night to sleep. And they will seal in and make a nice closed environment for you to hear. Now, you can wear them to the front, but it's even better if you wear them to the back. And then they get plugged into either a box that transmits the signal to a monitor board or straight into the monitor board. But I can't hear myself while I'm talking to you because they sealed. So let's talk about the MP-240s. This is the first pair of in-ear drivers that I bought for myself. I play at church and I've used the ones that we have there, which are Shure's. I had not, however, listened to music, just, listening to music around the house, wearing monitors because they were always at the church and I could only use them for band practice. So I made a video where I showed my reaction to the MP-40s the first time I heard them when listening to music through my computer. I know it doesn't sound real, but I actually cried. That was not fake. It sounded so much better than the $15 Skull Candy earbuds I'd been wearing. Shockingly, it sounded way better than that. What can I say about these after 2 years? One thing I would say, and I don't think it matters what brand you buy, baby them. Take good care of them. These little wires, these little connections can break. So I would suggest that you take very good care of it. One other thing I would suggest is be careful not to drop this end on the ground. So if you're coiling, make sure that this plug end is the end that hits the ground, not the end with your expensive drivers. So you want to start coiling from this end. And I just coil them around my hand to put them away. The Mackies come with this box. How stinking cute is that? It comes with this box, and I just put my in-ears in the box when I'm done using them. Now, what I wanted to do to make sure that I didn't leave them behind at a gig or that I didn't misplace them, and then what I did was I put a piece of Velcro on the back and I stick it right to my pedal board. So whenever I get my pedal board, my in-ears come out with it. The other thing I did, which I've seen people do this with Altoids, but we eat a lot of these mints at my house. So I took the container for the mints and I filled it with foamies. So that's where I keep all the different kinds of foamies that you can put in. So if I need to change, what I have discovered in 2 years is that the foamies that go on the tips of your inner monitors, they give out in a single day. Like one day you're using them and they're great, and the next day, one of 2 things happen. It falls off the monitors and won't stick to it, or you go to take your in-ear monitor out of your ear and the foamy is left behind in your ear and you have to get somebody to help you get it out. Sometimes you need a pair of tweezers. So that's the day that it doesn't work anymore and you have to retire that foamy. And so I keep the entire box of all the foamies that I got. I've got two bags of mixed foamies, and I just Velcro it right to my pedal board. And so I have two little extra knobbies on my pedal board, and they don't really have a home because I figured out the pedal board before I figured these out. So when I redo my pedal board, I'm gonna figure out exactly where they go. But I just attach these to my pedal board, and when I get out my pedal board to play, these are ready to go. This one I haven't figured out a home for. If you're gonna go over to your own in-ear monitors, and you're gonna have your own foamies, there's one more thing you need: an extension cord. We have individual monitors, so each musician on stage has their own monitor and can set their own levels. So I have this extension cord because we hook our in-ear monitors to a Allen & Heath mixing board. We have individual mixing boards, and I like to have mine up a little bit higher so I don't step on it, and so I just loop it over. That also means if someone else is passing by me and decides they need to walk right through my cord, there's extra cord, and I don't knock the Allen & Heath over because it, you know, stops your breath every time that thing goes over. It's just money falling across the stage. I recommend getting an extension. I got this on Amazon. Now, this I haven't found a proper home for. So if you have any suggestions of how I could keep this on my board too, it won't fit in the case with the in-ear monitors, and it needs its own home. I just keep it in the bottom of my bag with my pedals in it. What do I think about how they sound? They sound great. The main thing about getting them to sound good though is to get that seal, to get your foamies to really close off here and get all of the other ambient noise out. The better the seal is on your ears, the better the in-ear monitors are going to sound. I've struggled a little bit, and this is not the fault of Mackie or any other person who produces them, but I have had surgery on this year. I had pretty extensive, like a 12-hour surgery. I was fortunate it did not affect my hearing, but it means that I have to use two different kinds of foamies on my in-ear monitors. And so as soon as I get one perfect, it wears out, and then I have to change it, and then I try a different kind, and so I'm using different kinds on each ear. And one problem I've had, and I don't think this is fault of the brand, this is just the problem with my ear canal, is that sometimes when I smile, it moves my ear enough that my in-ear monitor kind of pops out and I lose my seal. So a lot of times I have a very serious bass face because I don't want to lose the good seal that I got on my in-ear monitors. I've been able to hear great with them. There's definitely a learning curve to having your own mixing board and trying to figure out how to get everything leveled and everything to sound good. We've had times we've arrived at rehearsal and all of our settings are gone, and you get to start your mix from scratch. It is a pain and it is slow, but it's so worth it. Oh my gosh, because once you get your levels low enough, you're not blasting your ears out, which is really important. One thing that we've all struggled with the Allen Heath is as ambient noise in the room gets louder, we tend to turn our mixes up, and some of us have had some tetanitis, a little bit of ringing in our ears, and we've realized we have it blasting too loud. Like, it needs to be quieter. So I would say if you are playing with in-ears and it's the beginning of that time, be careful that you don't damage your hearing. Don't turn them up too loud. Just reset everything lower so that you're not turning up the master volume that loud. It's really important for the health of your ears. So take good care of your ears. They have to last you a long time. I'm still playing. If we're all still playing, we've got to take care of our ears in the long run. I think I have just about outgrown the 240s. I would like the next step up. So Mackie, this MP-320 triple dynamic driver in-ear monitor clear. I would love to review those next. I'd like to see how much more I could hear on those than I do on the 240s. Because I loved my 240s, I bet I'd really love the 320s, and 320s are clear, which would be really fun to play with and see how they look. I think the real struggle being a bass player using in-ear monitors is hearing yourself. It's the reason that a lot of bass players don't go over to in-ear monitors 100%. They'll still keep like an ambient monitor down by their feet because they want to be able to feel the driving bass. But I think with these, I've really been able to hone the bass in where I can hear it just fine, and I don't feel like the sound is being limited by the small drivers. And once you get over to using in-ears and you can get used to them, which can be harder for older users, but once those of us at advanced age learn to use them successfully, you never want to go back. As soon as they pull that wedge out and they're like, oh man, you have to use a wedge today. It's like, don't make me. That's just the ringing of the cymbals on the drums. It's hard to get that noise down without earplugs in. And having the monitors work as earplugs to keep that ambient noise down where you can really focus on what you need to hear is really one of the benefits of wearing in-ear drivers. And I found that with the Mackie 240s, I've been able to hear everything that I've needed to hear. So my review 2 years later is 2 thumbs up. Love my in-ear monitors. When you play, do you have in-ear drivers or do you use some other method? Tell me down below. I would love to hear. And here's some more videos of some Mackie gear that I've tried out.